am back again with my review of Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Let me tell you, this book was very difficult to get through, not because it was badly written or anything, it actually wasn't, but because it was super dark. Also, I kept looking at the end pages because they're pretty. So Red Queen is about a society, it's apparently post-apocalyptic, or I guess post-apocalyptic, because, like, there was the apocalypse, and then right after the apocalypse, and now everything's been fixed again. But post-apocalyptic America, and the society has been split into reds and silvers, and reds are normal people with red blood, and silvers are people with silver blood who also have superpowers. And so they're like the elite, and then the reds are like ground into the dust and stepped on all the time to get all the shit that the silvers want, blah blah blah. And there's a rebellion called the Red Dawn, and they're, blowing shit up, and apparently also they're at war with this other country. And so then you have the main character, and the main character, it turns out, she is a red, but she has powers. And she has powers over electricity. And she ends up, because this is revealed on national TV, they can't just have her assassinated. And so they end up, like, the government, the king and queen, make up this lie about how she's actually, like, a long-lost silver royal, and they finally found her, and she has to pretend to be a silver. And then, she ends up engaged to the second prince out of the two princes, because there's a crown prince and his little brother. She ends up engaged to the little brother, but she's got feelings for the crown prince, who's engaged to, like, this complete psycho bitch. And she ends up, her and the younger crown prince end up, working with the rebellion. And there's this whole big thing, and it ends with a lot of people dying, and a lot of bad shit. So that's the basic premise. And now we're going to get into the, like, really spoilery bits, so, if you don't want to hear that, then, shoo-shoo, away with you. I think I might coin that, shoo-shoo, away with you. I might start using that more often. Anyway, so, basically, I have a lot of feelings about this book, because there was a lot of shit in here that I'm like, what the fuck? There was a lot of things that I really liked. Like, I really liked that although there were some similarities to the Hunger Games, like the strong sister relationship and the fact that they're impoverished, that it was still really different. Mare is very different from Katniss. Her sister is very different from Prim. The way that they make their living is very different. The reality of their lives is different from the Everdeens. I really like Mare's relationship with all of her siblings, actually. Her and her brothers have this thing with earrings when her brothers all get shipped off to war. Each time that one of her brothers goes to war, they, like, split up a pair of earrings. So each of her brothers has one earring, and then she has the others. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was really cool. I really like all the different powers and how it takes you a while to figure out, like, what the powers are, because they're called different things than what you might expect them to be called. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. And, it was fun to unravel because it didn't take me very long. If it had taken me any longer to figure out what it was that, like, they were talking about when they mentioned, like, different types of silvers, I might have gotten a little frustrated, but it didn't take me, that long. I really liked the relationship between the two princes. Like, I thought it was very interestingly portrayed. When Maven betrayed Cal, I knew that was going to happen because I'm on Tumblr, and so I got into the Red Queen game pretty late, like, almost right before King's Cage came out. Well, actually, like, 3 months before King's Cage came out. And so, like, everyone was talking about how, like, Maven was a bad guy, so, like, that did not surprise me. Also, it was kind of obvious. But, it was, but with that, I thought it was very realistic how they acted. Like, I wasn't shocked, like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. I never had that sense of, okay, this doesn't feel right, or this is out of character. I thought, it was very well done. I thought her characterization for literally everyone was super consistent and spot on and really interesting. A lot of the taglines are interesting, like, anyone can betray anyone. Like, that's really, like, that's true. And that was actually one of the reasons why the book was so hard to get through, is that Mare is surrounded by people who want her to fail, and she has no friends. I thought it would have been nice if she could have made friends with some of the silver princesses. Like, they're called princesses / ladies, whatever, but I thought it would have been nice if she could have made friends with some of the other girls her age who were silvers. I think it would have, like, the emotional toll of the choices that she made would have been stronger if it wasn't just her relationship with the two princes that was in the balance. And yeah, okay, there's her relationship with her guard, but whoop-de-fucking-do, because that's, like, not that like, it's not very well developed. The big focus relationship-wise is her relationship with the two princes. And I wish we could have seen her make friends with some Silvers. I wish the Silvers could have been more nuanced, like, as a group. Because, like, yeah, sometimes we're shown that the Silvers aren't, like, super awful, but we're never actually shown any that are actually good.
And don't say Cal. Do not say Cal. Okay, I will talk about Cal when I get to him, but do not say Cal. Okay, so, oh my god.
The closest is the uncle, Julian. You know, he is close to being good, but even he's not that good. Okay, I thought that the characters were all really well-rounded. There was one thing I didn't like, is that sometimes Mare's anger tends to flip into the homicidal, unnecessarily homicidal, type. Like, that was one of my critiques against Throne of Glass, actually, is that there are times when Aelin is just unnecessarily batshit for no reason, and it makes her come across as kind of evil. Not just like, oh, she's kind of bitchy. I mean, like, evil. And there were a couple times when that happened with Mare, and I'm like,
you need to calm down and, maybe take some Prozac or something. I don't know. Because, like, whatever you need to not want to murder everyone that you talk to, you need to do that thing. And no, murdering everyone you talk to is not an option.
I did not like Kalorn. I don't like that trope of the boy that the girl grew up with, and he thinks he knows her, and so he feels entitled to, like, make dictations about her life. Okay, I talked about this in my review for Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo, because I also want to stab Mal in the face. And Kalorn is basically Mal, except less abusive. Kalorn is, for one thing, he's not there very often. I'm really glad he's not endgame, because I would want to stab Kalorn in the face. He's a dick. He is such a dick. Now, granted, he's had a pretty shit life. I understand that. But at the same time, there are ways to fix your shit life and also save the world without, making me want to stab you in the face. He's Gale Hawthorne. I hate Gale Hawthorne from the Hunger Games. I want to kill him. Oh, I want to kill Gale. Actually, I hate Gale even more than I hate Mal, but that's because I really loved Prim. Anyway, we're not even going to talk about that right now. That's a discussion for another day. So, there were a lot of things I liked. I wish that, like, Mare could have reined it in, pulled it back a little bit, and, at times I'm like,
this level of anger is, one, not characteristic of you as a character, and two, not helping anything.
But for the most part, I really enjoyed the book. It was just really hard to get through because it was so bleak. It wasn't even, like, super dark. It was just bleak. There wasn't a lot of humor or, like, no cracking jokes or, having fun. Like, and I realized she was under a lot of stress, but this, again, goes to I wish she could have made friends with some of the other girls. Because at least then, like, even if, like, the fun moments had ended with her reminding herself, I can't ever let my guard down, I still would have been okay with her having some fun and then thinking that, instead of the only time she thinks that is when she's with Cal, the Crown Prince, and I don't like him, and we'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, and then also she let her guard down with Maven, and that, blew up in her face. But, I don't know, I wish there could have been a little more lightheartedness in the book. This book was a little too dark for me to get through easily. Even The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, that book was so dark I had trouble getting through it, but I actually didn't have as much trouble getting through it as I did Red Queen, because there is humor in The Darkest Minds that balances out some of the darkness at least a little bit, and there really wasn't any, good moments really in Red Queen, like happy moments. No moments of joy or fun or, laughter, and that really, like, wore me down a little bit. That's why it took me so long to read this book. And, yeah, so that's, like, there was that. My biggest complaint, though, my biggest...
Oh, also when the guard died! Oh my god! Like, I didn't expect him to die in that fashion. I didn't think that her guy was gonna, like, get dragged out to his execution right after cursing her name, and then he was just gonna die.
I was hoping, like, some kind of reconciliation would happen. Something. I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I just didn't expect it to be that abrupt and that unresolved. I was like,
wait, is that it? Like, he's just dead? They're not going to be friends no more at all? Like, there's no forgiveness or anything? Shit, really? Really? Oh my god! What the hell? I freaked out. When that happened. Oh, I freaked the hell out.
I'm sorry, I just remembered that I hadn't mentioned that. My biggest issue is Cal. Oh my god, like, everyone's like, Cal's so great, and blah. I'm like, fuck that shit!
Okay, he is not great. I mean, obviously maybe he's better than Maven because, he's not trying to kill anybody. Except, guess what, guys? He did. Did we forget? Oh, yeah, he did. He totally tried to kill people. He's not a good guy. I think this is actually one of the things that really was, difficult for me, is that there is nobody in this book except for Mare is a good guy.
Other than her family, but they're not really there very much, because she gets whisked away to the palace, super fast. But, literally, Maven is a bad guy. Duh. The king and queen obviously are bad guys. Julian's a good guy, kind of, but not really. He wants to help her, and he does do good things, but at the same time, it's you can't let your guard down around him because he's got his own agenda going on. Literally, everyone has their own agenda, and, they're never willing to put Mare ahead of that agenda, ever. Except for the one time Julian did. And then, that was only because it was either that or she died, I think, and the only reason he agreed is because he hates the queen and wants her to die. So, let's talk about Cal. My issue, and Cal and Mal, what is up with that? Next it's going to be some guy named Pal. Or maybe, Hal. I don't know. Oh my god. Actually, I don't like Hal either. Hal 9000 from Space Odyssey.
Oh god, okay, now I'm thinking about the movie. Shit.
I have, nightmares about that. That whole thing about,
what are you doing, Dave?
oh god. Anyway, so, yeah, Cal. He's the crown prince. He's the captain of the army. What, are we to expect that, all the Silvers are so happy with the king's reign that nobody is thinking about assassinating this boy? Has he never been kidnapped? Has he never been stabbed in the back by any of the Silver kids that he hangs out with?
Why is he so naive?
For a prince. And the thing is, he's not as naive as Dorian from Throne of Glass. That was one of my biggest complaints about Dorian, is that he's, the crown prince. He's actually, 5 years older than Cal. Cal's 16 or 17, and Dorian's 20 or 21. And Dorian is way more naive than Cal, and he's a terrible prince. But Cal is a bad prince when it comes to politicking and backbiting. He's really good. He's really good at rousing his men. He has the loyalty of the army. His dad is super proud of him. He doesn't have to watch what he does or says around his dad because his dad's not some homicidal nut job possessed by a demon who, would kill him if, he had a reason to. Instead, his dad is just a homicidal nut job who actually loves him. That I thought was actually really interesting, is that, it's very obvious that the king is actually a terrible person. He's a terrible, terrible person. And the queen is a terrible person. But it's also really obvious that they love their children. Now, Cal is not the queen's son. He's the son of the previous queen. So the queen doesn't love him. But she obviously loves Maven. Okay, I really don't like it when two characters who are, in close proximity to each other a lot have names that start with the same letter, especially if they look the same. And Mare and Maven, it's a little difficult. Sorry. But, yeah, she obviously loves Maven. The king obviously loves both Cal and Maven. Although, apparently he loves Cal more than Maven. I wouldn't put that past him. That is the thing that even good parents sometimes do, especially, noble parents, aristocratic parents. They generally will favor the heir over the spare. And I thought that was interesting because the king and the queen, they obviously love their children, and I thought the king actually really loved the queen until, he finds out that she, is trying to kill him. And also that she killed his first wife. But they're evil. They're, so evil. They're so horrible. And I thought that was really well done and really interesting. It's a very nuanced portrayal of some villains, and I thought that was, pretty cool, even though they're evil. I don't think they're cool, I just think the way they're written is cool. But Cal. See, the thing is, Mare hates Cal, and she's absolutely right to hate him, because he's so privileged, and he knows it, and he supposedly cares, but he's not willing to do anything at all to help those less fortunate than him. Yeah, he helps Mare, but I bet you it's just because he thinks she's pretty. That was the only reason. Maven did more to help Mare as part of his diabolical scheme, and more to help her people as part of his diabolical scheme than Cal did, and Cal's supposed to be the good one. Now, granted, yeah, it was all part of his diabolical scheme, but, literally, he and Cal, the only difference between them is that Cal was upfront about his dickbaggery. Okay, Cal was up front when he was
no, I'm not gonna help your people because I wanna hold on to my power.
Fuck that shit. He could have at least told
Mayor, hey, when I become king, I can fix the thing. I can start fixing all these problems. And instead, he's like, you know what? Actually, it would cause a power vacuum. Like, the other nobles wouldn't stand for it. We'd have a civil war. Lots of people would die. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like, okay, yeah, but you know what? Like, people are dying anyway. Like, what are you waiting for? What do you want? Like, what, you want a cookie in order to go off to war first? Like, what the fuck, man? And the thing is, there are Reds that he has gone into battle with, and they're treated like slaves. Like,
don't you care? Like, do you not care? You racist little asshat. Don't you care that this is happening right in front of you? You say you care, but do you really? Like, are you so desperate to hold on to your fucking power and to not upset the status quo that you're willing to sacrifice the girl that you love and everything that you say you believe in order to keep what you want?
Like, really? You're the good guy here? Really? And then, okay, so I talked about this in another video, a plot twist that I did not see coming, and it was not the thing with Maven, as I said. No, it was the thing with Cal. At the end, near the end, when they were like, okay, Cal, if you don't get the army to join the rebellion, then, all this shit is gonna go down, and also Mayor's gonna die. And so I totally, like, because Maven was like, he will do this for you because he loves you. And I was like,
oh, that's so great! That's perfect, that's awesome! True love wins the day, woohoo!
And instead, you know what happened? He looked at Mayor, Cal did, looked at Mayor, realized what was going on, realized she was with the rebellion, and was like,
well, fuck you too.
And he was in pain when he did it. Like, he was sad about it, supposedly. Mayor could see the pain on his face, but she and Maven knew. They knew he wasn't going to help them. And Maven even said, dude, if you do this, Mom and Dad are going to kill her. And Cal was like, yeah, well, she made her choice.
And I was like, wait, what? Like, what? What? What the fuck? What the fuck, Cal? You're supposed to be the good one. You're supposed to be Peeta Millark. You're not Gail Hawthorne. You're supposed to be Peeta. And you know who you are? You know who you are? Dirtbag. You're one half of President Coin. Oh my god.
Maven being the other half. And I was so stunned, but I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be the good guy. And yeah, okay, anybody can betray anybody. I don't care. Okay? I thought that there would be, like, because he said he loved her. I'm like, did you really?
Do you really? I don't think you do. I think you're an asshole. I think you should get run over by a bus. I think I want to beat you to death with a shovel. That's what I think. I think that you are a fuchsia fuck weasel. That's what I think. Okay? Okay? That's what I think, Cal. I think you're a fuchsia fuck weasel and you deserve to die. That's what I think.
Unfortunately, in order to retake the kingdom, they gotta keep him around. That really depressed me.
And then he had the gall to be pissed off. And I'm like, I realize that your dad just died and that your brother mind raped, or your stepmother mind raped you to force you to kill your dad. I realize that. But guess what? None of it is Mayor's fault. It's your own goddamn fault. If you had actually done the right thing and actually, teamed up with the Rebel Alliance or whatever, instead of working for fucking Lady Darth Vader, basically, and your fucking Emperor Palpatine dad, if you had actually teamed up with the rebels, none of this would have happened.
Okay, yeah, your dad might have been killed, but actually he probably would have just been in prison. The queen would have been killed, and yeah, okay, you're trying to look out for her, but you know what? Who cares? And also the whole thing where he didn't believe that the queen killed his mother, and his uncle was like, dude, no, the queen killed your mom. And he, like, loves and respects his uncle, but he's like, no,
my stepmother would never do that.
Like, okay, the thing is, like, I realize that she can, like, control people's minds and shit, but she wasn't doing that to you! So, come on! Oh my god! Cal, really? Oh my god. I'm yelling so much, I'm starting to lose my voice. Anyway, yeah, the whole thing with Cal actually made me madder than the thing with Maven, and I think part of that was because I saw the thing with Maven coming, and, it's really obvious he's, like, a mama's boy. And then also I felt kind of bad for him, because the only reason he did this, you can tell, is because he believed that Mare was in love with Cal and would never choose him. He didn't realize that because of the kind of shitbag person that Cal is, she actually totally would have chosen Maven. And, like, they could have been together, and it didn't work out. And I hope he doesn't marry that silver princess, the crazy one who likes to cut people. I'm just like, oh, shit. I really hope that doesn't turn into a thing. But she's totally gonna want to, that girl, because, now Maven is the crown prince and stuff. I think it would have been really interesting, actually, if, like, she and Mare could have developed, like, a grudging respect for each other. Like, I actually, like, as of right now, I don't want her to get with any of the three guys that she could possibly get with. She could get with Kalorn, I hate him, he's a dick. She could get with Cal, he's a fuchsia fuck weasel, I want him to die. She could get with Maven, but he's evil, and also I heard that he takes her prisoner at the end of Glass Sword. And so, I'm kind of like, Yeah, I don't know about that. And so that only leaves like two options. Option one, she gets with the rebel girl who's like leading their faction of the rebellion, or she gets with that silver princess. And I don't see that happening just based on the way that the books have gone and what people have said. But I think we would have gotten a more interesting book if that had been even an option. I think it would have been kind of interesting. Because I think like I don't know, like I wish I wish the silvers were more nuanced, because really the only ones who are the king, the queen, and then Cal and Maven. And I realize that like all the rest of them are secondary characters, but still, and like the book is not that long. I mean, it kind of is, but like I'm looking at other books. Like right now, I'm literally looking at other books on my shelf that are the same, that are the same genre, and some of them are bigger. Six of Crows is bigger, and other books like that. A Great and Terrible Beauty, I think, is bigger. And I don't know. I wish there could have been more going on, introspectively speaking, so that we could learn more about the Silvers and get a better feel for them. There could have been more like interaction with them that was more nuanced and in depth and detailed. Because basically, instead of in depth and detailed, what we got was Mare stuck with the Silvers doing lessons and stuff like all damn day, and she wants to die, basically. And the only highlights of her day are learning how to control her powers with Julian, and then hanging out with Cal and Maven. And I wish there could have been more. I really do. Like, basically, this book passes the Bechdel test, but only because of like the first 30 pages with the sister, and then suddenly the sister's out of the picture. So I don't know. That was something that I wish could have been in there. But basically, I really liked the book. It was just hard to get through because it was so bleak. I would recommend it to people as long as. Oh, hey, my phone is going off because my mom is texting me. Today is my mom's birthday, and she says love you because I texted her a birthday song. So I really wish that other than the thing with the Silvers being more nuanced, I wish we could have gotten some more girl friendships with Mare and some of the Silvers. She doesn't even have any female friends among the Red Village, which I thought was weird. All she has is Kalorn and her siblings, and I feel like she would have had at least one. I mean, now granted, Katniss only had one, and that wasn't even really a friend. So I guess we're like kind of moving up in the world that way. But still, I wish that could have been more of a thing, and maybe we'll see more of it. More girls that Mare can hang out with in the second book. I haven't read it yet because I'm still recovering from the first one, but we'll see. But yeah, I really like the book. I would recommend it. It's just, I want Cal to die in a moldy hole in the ground soaked in gasoline and set on fire. And I feel the same way about the king and the queen, except, it doesn't have to be a moldy hole because they're supposed to be villains, so, like, I can feel for the villain this year. I felt so betrayed by Cal. And I guess, like, that means that, Victoria Aveyard was doing her job, but I still felt betrayed, and I still want him to die. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at Cal. I finished this book, like, back in, I think, November or December, and I'm still pissed off about that shit he pulled. Oh my god, I want to stab him in the eye. Anyway, that was my review of Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you agree that Cal needs to get stabbed in the eye? Do you think Maven needs to get stabbed in the eye? I would agree with both of those things. Is there anything that you wish could have happened in the books that didn't, or anything you wish hadn't happened that did? And don't say so-and-so dying, because, we all feel that way. But, yeah, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys in the next podcast. Bye!